What is up, everybody? Welcome back to DSM Media's Phillies pregame show as the Phillies get set to take on the New York Mets for game 2 of the series today. You are with myself, Dylan Davis. You can find me on Twitter at DylanJD98. And of course, my faithful co-host to my right, El Parcero Philly. Check him out on Twitter at Parcero Philly as we stream to you guys live through our Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook accounts, as well as Parcero's YouTube channel. So head on over to El Parcero Philly on YouTube, subscribe and hit that subscribe button on DSM Media's YouTube as well as we head down the road to 1K. Parcero, what is up, my man?
Dude, let's get some more magic going on. What an absolute crazy night at Citizens Bank Park. You couldn't ask anything more from Phillies versus Mets, man. I'm excited to get back today. And Dylan, we're back to Wheels Day 2022, baby.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
Absolutely. And guys, if you don't know the layout already for today's pregame show, we're going to be getting into the pitching matchup, the Phillies lineup card. Phil, what's going on, man? There's already a Phillies in 5. It's Sixers in 5 and Phillies in 5, 4 games into the season. I like it a lot, but absolutely. We're going to go over the pitching matchup, the lineup card, standout stars, predictions, and we're going to react to last night's game. Some interesting things were said last night during that Phillies win. And by the way, there's some magic at Citizens Bank Park. Let me just hold on, quick pat on the back. The Fightins are 2-0 when I'm in the building.
Yeah, how'd it go, man?
It was awesome last night. I went myself, my girl Scotty, and his girl.
Yeah,
and it was a good time. But things were bleak, dude. It was a bad baseball game to be a part of.
Did you leave, Dylan? Did you leave?
No, absolutely not.
Attaboy.
Had to see my parlay hit as well. But then George Ryder comes out of the dust, out of nowhere, into our section because there was no one sitting in the seats next to us. He comes on over in the 7th inning, and all of a sudden, in the bottom of the 8th, the bats go on a huge run. Jeremy was in the building last night. Did not get to link up with Jeremy. But he's 2-0. He was there on opening day. He's 2-0 there as well. So me and Jeremy might have to get to a game together and see if we can push our luck to 3-0. But yes, Fightins come from behind, trailing 4-0 in the bottom of the 8th inning. JT Realmuto gets things going with a bomb to left field to make it 4-3. And then we know that back-to-back doubles by Rhys Hoskins and Didi Gregorius take the lead, and Brad Hand.
Did you say Didi Gregorius?
We'll get to that. Don't you worry, bro. We'll get to Didi. But Brad Hand comes in the top of the 9th and closes the door on the Mets for a 5-4 Fightins victory. They are 3-1 to start the year. My guy, what stood out to you in last night's game besides that huge comeback?
No, I mean, obviously, like the comeback definitely caught everyone's eye. I mean, the fact that they were able to get a lot of offense through that, I was ready to start thinking, oh my God, like we're putting that scenario in my head, like what happens if the bats aren't alive? But now we didn't worry about that. Not to go in too much of a negative, Dylan, but seeing Ranger start off the way he did, I had that like gut feeling in the pregame show thinking like, Ranger, number one, when he was hot, it was warm out. I don't want to put too much on the weather, but obviously was a little. You were there.
It was a nice night out last night, though.
Okay. And so Ranger, going 2 2/3. Obviously, we'll get to the Alex stuff. He didn't have all the help defensively, but that to me was the one takeaway that I really took away from last night's comeback victory.
Well, it's interesting you say that because Ranger did not look like he was on top of his stuff last night, but he had the bare minimum for help in that first 2 innings last night. And let's get to that in a second. But one thing that really stood out to me, besides the comeback, besides Ranger, 2 things. A, the bullpen.
Nicky Nelson.
Let's give props there, dude. I mean, they come in literally the 3rd inning. And when Ranger was pulled, it was 3-0, right? So the bullpen only allowed 1 earned run. The rest of the way, they allowed the Phillies to stay in the ball game until the bats could strike late. That's huge.
You got 4 from Nick Nelson, man. That was great.
That's everything. Brad Hand comes in, looks great in the 9th, right? Sir Anthony's the one that gave up a run, but he ended up looking okay last night.
He got the dub.
Right. The other thing is the fact that, yes, they put up 5 runs again. They come away with a win. They're 3-1 on the year. And the middle order, the top of the order, with all this power, with all of our big guys in Schwarber and Castellanos and Bryce, they haven't even woken up yet.
Yeah,
Bryce and Schwarber were hitless last night for I believe 4 combined or 5 combined Ks. Castellanos had a big walk late and then he had the one blooper out to right field in the middle innings. But outside that, he hasn't really popped off yet. So this Phillies team's 3-1. They come back last night in a big way. But Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, Nick Castellanos, they haven't even arrived yet. JT Realmuto before that home run was, I believe, 1 for 12 on the season. So these bats aren't even awake yet, Parcero, and they're already off to a good start.
Yeah, that's the crazy part about it. And listen, Bryce Harper is gonna get hot. Like I've said it. Like I think summertime, once it gets warm, dude, he's gonna be the Bryce Harper of last season. But I did not think that this early on in the season, our best bats would be Gene Segura and Rhys Hoskins. And it's crazy to see. I mean, Rhys had another RBI yesterday. And the evolution of Rhys Hoskins, the up and downs that we have dealt with Rhys in the Phillies pinstripes, it's been crazy. We went from the launch angle stuff to continue looking for the walks, to now my man's getting RBIs left and right. And let's hope that he continues this on. And we know that Rhys Hoskins' absence last year due to injury was a big killer to the batting lineup.
Absolutely.
And you're seeing his value right now, being able to bring in some runs, man. But Gene and Rhys being our top 2 hitters right now, it's absolutely wild, dude.
Also, didn't it just felt right that it was against the Mets? Because what's the saying, Parcero? The Mets are going to Met.
The Mets are going to Met.
And in the first matchup, in the very first matchup of this marathon of a year, what did the Mets do?
They met.
They do just that. They met last night late in the game with Zach Wheeler coming up on the bump tonight. So the Phillies have a great chance, great opportunity to win the series tonight, which we'll get to in a few minutes. But the big storyline last night, clouding a W, which you can either take as a W, because I want to start by prefacing that Alec owned up to it. Good for him. He didn't say, "Oh, that's not what I said." He didn't cower. He owned up to what he said. I hate this effing place is what he said coming off the field. And as a man who was there to see it, everything was well deserved. Nothing was over the top. He got booed probably after the third throwing error, heavy. And then there were some sarcastic cheers after he turned a double play. So I want to ask you, what are your thoughts here? Because there's one half that, okay, great. He's young and he's mature. He owned up to it, which I do. I love that. The fact that he said, I didn't mean it. It was in the heat of the moment. I did say that, but it's, I'm sorry, right? There's the other side of things that just, it's stuck in the back of my mind. Like, really, dude? Like, you have 3 throwing errors in the first 2 innings last night. The first one, which, Parcero, I don't even know what he did. Like, he ended up on his back, dude.
Yeah.
He somehow ended up on his back. And the other 2, the part that's scary is he's going to get Rhys Hoskins killed this year. Like, it's like a quarterback leading a wide receiver over the middle with a safety just looming, ready to take his head off, right? He's throwing Rhys Hoskins into a guy sprinting down the first baseline. It's going to carry him into a runner at full steam one of these times. And that's your first thing. Really, like, people sarcastically cheer you, and your thing is to say, I hate this effing place. So, yes, I'm glad he admitted it. He owned up to it. He said he didn't mean it. But I am bothered by that's the first thing to come out of his mouth when you're playing like that.
I completely get the sentiment, and here's my thing with it. Number one, I commend Alec Bohm for handling it the right way.
100%.
And as an adult, like, when you mess up, you gotta own up to it. And Alec did that. I think with Alec, it's clear as day he's been going through a mental block out in the field, and this isn't just like this year. This happened last year as well, and he let the moment get the best of him. And as a young player, he's going to learn from that, and he will not allow. I truly believe he won't allow that to happen again. But what I will say, look, I understand how Philly sports fans are. Trust me, we all live through this. We go through the same pains together. But my point was, in Philly, how many times have I heard Philly sports fans complaining about young players who don't pan out here and then they leave, but not recognizing the situation at hand? Alec Bohm is going through a mental block right now. And the best thing is to boo him. Like, this isn't Ben Simmons. I truly don't believe that this is a Ben Simmons situation. I think that both are unique in their own ways. And so Alec Bohm definitely is going to learn from this, but we as a fan base need to help. We need to help him out a little bit. Like, we need to understand what exactly he's going through. And I always try to look at things as a human perspective And I think that for Alec, he definitely was frustrated, but he definitely could have handled it a better way for sure. And we'll see what happens. Obviously, we won't see him here today, which we'll get to in a second. But I'm curious to see how Alec comes back going forward in the season.
Right. I guess that's my biggest thing. Like in the heat of the moment, I get we all say things and do things, whether it's family or friend related or relationship related. Like you say things in the heat of the moment you don't necessarily mean. But like that was just odd to me. Like, dude, it's not like anyone was over the top. There was no name call. There was just booze followed by sarcastic cheers. You're playing horribly. Like, it was already a storyline from last year and in the past that you're not good at third base. And you come out tonight and you're a huge reason why you're trailing 3-0 in the first inning to the Mets. And you have three horrible. Parcero, listen.
They were bad.
It's not like we're asking him. It's not like he laid out and the ball scattered off his glove and, good effort. But, no one booed from that. He didn't leap and knock a ball down or that he could have had, right? We are talking about routine ground balls and throws across the diamond. That's in your job description.
Yeah.
And when you don't do your job well, you're going to hear about it.
Right.
And that's all that happened. And so for the first thing to come out your mouth is, I hate this effing place, or I effing hate it here. That was mind-boggling to me. But again, we'll wrap it up by saying props to him for actually having the cojones to say, yeah, you're right. You did read my lips correctly. I said that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Heat of the moment. Let's move on. Good for you. I don't know what you were thinking saying it in the first place.
One more thing real quick as well. It's we're in a tough spot with Alec as well because we do know he's struggling and to the point where he's pretty much unplayable at third base.
Right.
But you have a redeeming factor with Alec. There is a redeeming factor, Alec, and he still has a bat. I mean, he had a hit yesterday.
Yeah, no, he was good at the dish last night.
He was 2 for 2, I believe, was Sunday or Saturday. So that's the problem right now is that we have a guy who can play in the field, but he could still hit,
Right.
and that is why I don't believe there's no reason he should be going back down to AAA. We need to keep him up here. You need to keep working with Kevin Long. Maybe at this point he's a pinch hitter. I do not know, but we need to find a way to keep him up with this team.
Right, and with the new universal DH rule, you'd be like, oh, well, great, I have a spot for you. Well, that's not really the case when you have Kyle Schwarber and Nick Castellanos, and tonight where Bryce Harper's sitting. So let's move into tonight's game, dude. So they are 3-1 to start the year. They're 1-0 over the Mets in this early series. But here is the lineup card brought to you by our man, KC. Leading off in left field is our man, Kyle Schwarber, batting second. The hero, some could say, of last night, catching JT Realmuto. Batting third, at the DH spot, Bryce Harper holding his elbow a little bit in right field last night. Maybe you want to give him the night off in right field. Just try to get his mind right at the plate tonight. Batting fourth in cleanup is Nick Castellanos getting the start in right field. Batting fifth, Rhys Hoskins at first base, followed by Didi Gregorius, who had the game-winning RBI double last night at shortstop. Bryson Stott at second base tonight. No Gene Segura batting seventh. Johan Camargo back at third. If we saw some ugly fielding last night from Alec Bohm, hopefully we see some good fielding from Camargo tonight at third, batting eighth. And then cleaning it up. It is not Vierling, however, right? It is
oh man, I had it too.
Monty. Oh, there it is. Muzziotti, something like that. And then pitching tonight, Wheels is back. Thoughts on this lineup card, Parcero? Because at the bottom of it, there's some moving parts all over the place.
Right. Obviously, a lot of people not happy with it's just like a musical chairs that Joe Girardi's kind of been doing so far with the infield for sure. But look, I do think that Girardi's trying to figure out what is the best possible lineup for this team, and I think you're going to see some musical chairs continuing. I'm not particularly too mad about it. I understand that after what Alec Bohm went through yesterday, you probably want to put him back. Yeah, well, I figured he would want to put him back out there to continue. Well, because the one thing is that I feel like if you can get him some at bats, some clean at bats, maybe he can build up his confidence and put him back out there on the field. But I get why he did the lineup chart here the way he did. But I'm curious to see what Simon does at center field here today. We haven't really talked about Matt Vierling. We haven't really talked about the center field position because Matt
Vierling has not looked good, by the way.
Yes, and Matt Vierling has not looked good either. So I'm curious to see what this kid has to do here today. But it is intriguing. It is definitely intriguing. And Bryson Stott, let's see if it's true. He's been playing third base. He's been playing shortstop, now today at second base. You see a little bit of that versatility with Stott. And the one that everyone's been hating on, Didi Gregorius, who I believe was the hero last night, simply because of the situation he was in to bring in the game-winning run. Back at it in there today. And then I do like Johan Camargo's glove. I think he's got a solid glove. If he can back that up with his bat as well, he's going to really be pushing Alec Bohm too, and Bryson Stott there at third base. Wouldn't be crazy to think, but no, let's work these pitchers here today, because we could definitely do that with the Mets again.
Yeah, it's something you saw Sunday where the Phillies had no interest in getting someone deep into an at-bat. It was swing fast and swing early, and it didn't go their way. And Camargo was one of the guys that only got on base. He was 2 of the 3 guys to get on base that day, I believe. Listen, it's weird because when you think of the 3 guys on the left side of the infield in Didi, Bryson Stott, and Alec Bohm, Camargo is not a guy you ever thought could possibly push someone out of the rotation. I still don't believe that. I still think he's a utility guy that can be used sparingly on days, and he's really good in the field. However, we talk about taking opportunities and running with it, right? Bryson Stott's looked okay so far, but he's had some mishaps in the field, and the other day at the plate he didn't look all that great. Again, super early. I'm not talking about the future, but and then obviously Alec Bohm in the field last night, still not taking the opportunity and running with it. If you take Johan Camargo and he's lights out on the hot corner and he's getting on base, he's at least in the conversation. Because obviously when we talk future or better player, it's obviously Bryson Stott and Alec Bohm and then Johan Camargo. But if he's playing better, Parcero, at the moment, he's going to get more looks, and I can't fault Joe for that. Like, if 1 through 6 in your lineup is stellar and everyone's playing well in the field, but you got this glaring hole at third base, you're going to try different things. And this dude, like I said, to his credit, he was 2 of the 3 base runners on an awful Sunday afternoon and made some great plays at third base in the field. So
Yeah.
we'll see what he does tonight.
There's no Gene Segura. What the hell, Joe?
Yeah. What are your thoughts there?
Dude, you can't play him every game, right? You got to give him some rest at some point.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. It's just it's super early in the year to see these guys already. But I mean, why not, right? You had a fastened up spring training, right? Coming out of the lockout. Why would you want to play these guys for every day? And because the Phillies don't have a day off until April 21st or 22nd, I believe, and then they play again until like the beginning or mid-May. So they're playing a game just about every day. You're gonna have to get these guys rest. Why not tonight? Like, why not a night where Wheels is on the mound, you won game 1 of this series, and you feel confident in what the rest of the lineup can do? Go ahead.
But it's not like that you can't pinch hit him later on in the game 100%. If you need some bats.
100%. And I also don't mind playing Stott at second, because not to discredit second base or Gene Segura, but second base is, you can be serviceable at second base. I don't have any worry about Bryson Stott at second base. Shortstop and third base, he's a shortstop, but when he plays third, he might, have some mishaps. It's the hot corner. That's different. Second base, I expect him with that glove to be okay tonight. Outside of that, I'm fine. The center field, I have no idea who this guy is. I'm not gonna pretend like I know who he is. He checked into the game late last night, didn't know who he was then either. But Matt Vierling I don't believe Matt Vierling's gotten a hit so far. In the first 4 games. So, give him a day off, let him clear his head, let him rest up, and I'm sure he'll be back out there tomorrow. Mickey Moniak, if you're listening to this, please hurry back. Please get healthy, because we could surely use you at the bottom end of this lineup. But yeah, man, I'm with you. This lineup's fine with me tonight.
I looked it up. So he's obviously been a minor league player. Last year was with 5 different teams, which is very interesting. In 20 games, 71 at bats. He batted 296, and he had 21 hits last year in 2021.
Okay. I mean, look, he's your 9-hole guy, right? So if he's fine playing the field, he gets Vierling a day off. maybe he draws a walk. That's all. That's all I'm really needing from the kid, just not to be a net negative in the field, and you're fine, right? Like you can't be worse than what Vierling's giving you at the dish. Vierling hasn't been on base. I think he's got 1 or 2 walks this year. That's it. So you can either be better than that for a game and just don't mess up in the field.
Yes, sir. Another Venezuelan baseball player as well. I have to throw that in there too.
There you go. All right, dude. Let's get into the pitching matchup tonight. As that lineup for the Titans takes on, I believe it's Ty McGill. McGill's on the mound tonight for the Mets, and then of course the reigning Cy Young runner up, the ace tonight, Zach Wheeler takes the bump for the Phillies. I expect him to be on a pitch count tonight. I do not expect a deep game from Zach Wheeler. I'd say 5 at max. That's if he's under 65 pitches through 60, 65 pitches, not getting worked and he's pitching clean. 5 at max. I really don't see it going further than that.
You know what I can't wait for, Dylan? Is like he gets to like 65 pitches through like 4 innings and they pull him after that, and Phillies Twitter's gonna go, wow, why the hell are you pulling him out?
Because people don't want to read the tea leaves, right? They don't want to realize that Zach Wheeler's on a pitch count coming off of illness and injury.
Yeah, man.
But I think he'll be fine tonight.
Yeah.
I think he'll come out and look like himself for the first 4 or 5 innings. Who knows? Maybe he can surprise you and get you 6 1/3, 6 2/3. If he can get some quick outs early on in this ball game. Obviously, if we're talking pitching matchup and who has the edge, it's the Titans. Pitch counter, not Zach Wheeler over Ty McGill. 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. It's not really that close to me.
Dude, you know what sucks though? Speaking of pitching, your boy Knievel.
COVID list.
Oh man,
dude. I was wondering why Brad Hand got the close last night, and props to Brad Hand. He looked really good last night
for sure.
But it sucks having Knebel already out early in the year. But apparently they're testing him again. I saw a tweet from the Fanatic that they're testing him again because there's hope that it's or maybe that they already tested him again and it's positive. But things like this are going to continue to happen even with vaccines and mandates, and we're going on over 2 years into this thing. It's going to happen. I guess you don't want anyone to get it, but hopefully, knock on wood, he'll be okay, and he'll be back better than ever within a week. And you got it out of the way at least, because you got the 90-day period where you don't contract it again. So at least our closer gets this out of the way early, and hopefully he's good
for sure. And then the other news today was Odubel Herrera is in assignment right now,
which is a worry, dude. You know why it's a worry? Because like we talked about, Vierling's not producing and Moniak's not coming back for over another month. So Odubel's gonna find his way back in this lineup.
God, dude.
And the worst thing that could happen is he plays average and he wins the job. Now Moniak has to come back and get that job back from him. And I just know, I hope this organization, I hope Joe Girardi has turned a new leaf and they're past that. But I can just see Odubel being back in this platoon simply because of injury and bad early play from Matt Vierling.
Dude, I cannot. I'm over it. Listen, besides the domestic violence stuff aside, we don't have to reiterate this. We know how severe that is, but just putting him back out there, it feels like we're going back to like Derek Barnett again. That's kind of what it feels like, going back to just another knucklehead. Roman Quinn, yeah, there you go, Jeremy. Roman Quinn is also back in the Phillies minor league system.
This is one thing I disagree with. When you factor in the person and the off the field issues with Odubel, I can get with it. But if we're just talking pure what you can bring to a baseball field, Odubel brings the bare minimum. But it's still more than Roman Quinn. When I tell you I hate Roman Quinn, I can't stand Roman Quinn, the baseball player.
No.
You're gonna do enough of these shows with me where if this dude plays, I can't stand it.
Oh, Jeremy, that's messed up, dude.
It's the truth, dude. And it's constant. He cannot get on base. Everyone talks about the speed and the upside. Well, that speed's worth this for the fact that he can never get on base.
You're right.
When he gets on base, all that speed means this because he makes bonehead play after bonehead play on the base paths. He's not good in the field either. So Odubel, if anything, if Odubel hits 255, that's 50 points better than what Roman Quinn's going to give you in the batter's box, even though Odubel should not be on the team and he's a horrible person.
And you haven't even gotten to the glove part of it because that's even worse. But yeah, no, I agree. Listen, he can't get on base. If he could, I mean, he would be a solid leadoff guy. It's like your prototypical leadoff guy,
Right.
but
Except
you
he can't get on.
can't get on. Damn Rome. Yeah, the center field's definitely an issue. I wonder what Hazley's doing right now in the White Sox system.
Dude,
Probably diddly.
don't even get me started. That's why all this, when you talk about Odubel and Roman Quinn and Adam Hazley and Vierling's issues, right, they all were solved if Mickey Moniak doesn't get hit on the hand. They all seemed solved. And now we have to wait, and who knows what happens when he comes back and what he has to overcome when he comes back. So it sucks, man. It's like this already great lineup would have been so much better with him in the back end of it. And now we have to wait, and he's going to have to fight with Odubel Herrera again.
What is the real quick? What is the Mount Rushmore of Philly center fielders over the last 10 years? Of the worst Philly center
over the
fielders?
last 10 years?
Over the last 10 years.
Dude, I hope I can even remember. Like, I'll go back to when I was a child, and like if you combine it, like Kenny Lofton's on that. Like Kenny Lofton and Aaron Rowan are on that list over anybody that we've had in the last 10. Like Victorino's been the best center fielder we've had in my time. But seriously, like I remember when we had Kenny Lofton. I remember when I think John Mayberry Jr., I know he played in left field a lot, but he got the start in center field at times. Like these dudes are better than anything they've been able to throw out over the last decade. I can't remind me who was even in center before like these bad draft
Ben
picks?
Revere.
Oh my
what was he,
God.
2016?
Yeah, and of course, obviously, we had Odubel for a couple years. We had Odubel from like 2015 or whatever on. Yeah, dude, Ben Revere, you joking? Like it's been a glaring hole. Jeff Franco, oh my God, Juan Pierre came back at one point. Remember Juan Pierre?
Hell yeah, I remember Juan Pierre.
Oh my God,
he's the Marlin, man. He's no Philly.
No, Juan Pierre, and there was another one. Oh no, that's gonna drive me nuts. He was a Marlin as well. That was
not Polanco.
no outfielder.
Was no.
Oh no, this is gonna drive me insane, dude. Keep talking. I have to figure this out.
Is this recently you're thinking of?
Years ago, couple years ago. Hold on.
Former Miami Marlin, or I guess Florida Marlin, Philly outfielder.
Sheesh. Oh wow.
You're gonna tell me I'm gonna be so mad too.
Remember when we had Hunter Pence?
Pence.
First of all, Kutch, he didn't play center field here, but Marlon Byrd. He played for Miami after us, right?
I think he played before, but I think he went to Pittsburgh after us, if I'm not mistaken.
Dude, Grady Sizemore was here.
Jeez.
Matt Joyce was here.
Matt Joyce.
Wow, dude.
Last year.
Wow, yeah, but Marlon Byrd was who I was thinking of. Yeah, so it's been bleak, my guy.
It is, man. Why do we struggle so much in the drafting outfielders?
I don't know.
I don't get it with this organization. They really struggle.
We tried Scotty Jetpacks in center field.
We've tried it all, man. We tried it all.
Doesn't make sense. But anyway, on a positive note, can't forget Don Brown. He platooned in right and center as well. But on a positive note, let's get into keys to victory tonight / our standout stars, and we'll wrap the show up with predictions as the Phillies are about 15 minutes away from first pitch tonight. Parcero, what's a key to victory or multiple keys to victory you have tonight for the Fightins? Obviously, last night they come away with a huge come from behind win, but I don't want to have to see that again. Like I like a more solid, consistent performance from opening pitch. So what's got to happen tonight, whether offensively or defensively?
I mean, I would just say, the Mets right now, their pitching staff, they've been dealing with injuries as well. I mean, Trevor May, I believe his name was, the guy who came in, I believe in the 7th inning. He had some arm issues. We obviously lit up Jay Rodriguez as well. But I think you got to work the pitch count. But get these pitchers to war essentially, and I think that's going to go a long way throughout this game. But to me, that's really got to be the key. It's going to be tough getting back-to-back wins, especially. I mean, you got to think that today the Mets are going to come in here motivated and ready because they don't want to blow yet again another lead like the way they did yesterday, and just continue playing of an entire game. I mean, obviously, we don't want the same thing that happened yesterday, but look, the Mets are the Mets, and we know that it just takes
Muck
one
the
bad pitch,
Fets.
pretty much. So you got to continue working it, and I think today, the player of the game, and it's tough here. But I'm gonna have to go with Bryce Harper again. I mean, we're waiting. I'm definitely waiting. Obviously, it's gonna take some time for him to get hot the way like last year. It's still really early, but if this could be a type of game that Bryce Harper can heat up for sure, man.
Well, first of all, Philly Eagles fan, appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Key to victory: score runs early. Opposite of what happened last night. And then Steve, appreciate my man. Great profile picture. Go Sixers. Sixers playoff start this weekend. And it looks like a beautiful night for a number of homers, right? Not from both sides. No. Not from both sides. From one side, and that's the Fightins tonight. But Parcero, I agree. I think keys to victory wise, I just think don't get down again early. I get it's the Mets, and we say Mets are going to Met. But I don't like the idea against a division rival of having to be down multiple runs again and having to come from behind again. Like, we have this big, high-powered offense. Don't be the offense that has to come from behind night in, night out. It's early. I'm not saying that's what they are, but, get ahead early and let Zach Willard do what Zach Willard does on the bump, even if it's for a minimal amount of time. Player of the game. I know I said it 2 nights ago to you. On Sunday's game, it did not happen. He's really been struggling. I'm not going to go with he's my player of the game, but I do think Bryce finally gets one out tonight. I mean, I know I'm going to be on here every night saying it until he does it.
Essentially,
it's going to happen at some point. But it just feels like it's nice out. There's no wind. Air's clear. He's DHing tonight. Clear his mind. Get some rest. And I think he puts on a show tonight. But in terms of player of the game, I'm going to go with Nick Castellanos. Again, a guy that had 2 good at bats last night. He had a blooper hit to right field and then a big walk late in the game. I believe in that 8th inning I believe Reese drove him in, if I'm correct.
Yeah, dude, he was dude, he wears like a jersey like twice the size that he's supposed to be wearing.
But we know what his bat is, dude. We know what all their bats are, but for him especially, he had MVP type numbers last year. He's really good to dish. He's striking out at a high clip so far this season. I expect a multi hit night from him tonight, and maybe even one going over the left field wall. So I think Bryce gets one, but I think Castellanos has a big night as well. And as far as predictions, I'm going to say that the Phils win. On a Wheels night, pitch restriction, or not, I have to go with a dub. So I'm going to say that the Phillies win 6-4 tonight.
6-4. Okay. I'm curious to see if I don't know if this will be one of those games, but what the Phillies will look like.
Jason, there we go.
There you go. I'm curious to see how the Phillies do in a low-scoring game. When they are winning, I mean, you saw last night they score 5 runs in 1 inning. Like, it seems like these bats, they just all
that might have been something they needed as well. They were quiet for the last game and 7 innings before that last night.
Yeah.
Maybe that woke them up.
Hopefully, man. But I want to see how that'll work out for the Phils. I'm gonna go 4-2 Phillies dub. It'd be really big to get tonight's win because tomorrow's pitching matchup, it's not looking in our favor, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get that.
And that's the goal. I know everyone wants to sweep, and we were hoping to sweep the Athletics, but the goal is to win the series, right? Just take 2 out of 3. If you're in a 4-game series, take 3 out of 4, right? So you come away with a win tonight. Now you're sitting pretty, either playing with house money, going for the sweep tomorrow against the stinking Mets, or hey, you lose tomorrow at 1:00 and you still come away with 2 out of 3 from the Mets, and you're 4-2 on a young year. But yes, I do think that the Phils get that dub tonight. Parcero, in terms of pregame show, what's going on with tomorrow? Because I, unfortunately, will be working during the Phillies game. I'll try to have it on my phone, but I will not be available for a show.
We'll round up the DSM crew. We'll definitely have we'll have some people on tomorrow. Is sale 6:45 as well?
No, it's 1:05 tomorrow.
1:05. Okay, so we might not be able to do it tomorrow.
That's what I was saying.
But we'll no, guys. We'll see maybe the DSM.
If anybody's available.
Well, yeah, like like Dylan said before, we're gonna try to get as many of these pregame shows as possible. Both Dylan and I do have jobs to attend to as well. So that's why you guys need to keep supporting and showing love to DSM Media. We really appreciate all the love everyone's been showing us. But we want to do this full time. We want to give you guys content every day, 365. So that's what we're striving for. And we'll definitely be having people on. I will definitely have a post game show. And I see Jason in the comments there. I'll be doing a post game show later on. Whoever wants to hop on in as well, we'll definitely allow people to come on. But yeah, man, we'll definitely be doing our best. And one more point, Dylan, I must say this, and it's still early, still really early, but this is really cool. Obviously, we're all Philly sports fans. This is the first time since June of 2011 both the Phillies and the Union are atop of both of those standings. So let's go Philly sports, baby. And we got playoffs this weekend. Let's go.
Exactly. Back with the Sixers in the playoffs at home Saturday at 6. But guys, that's going to wrap up this DSM Media Phillies pregame show. Go enjoy the game, and let's go get a Phillies W. Cash some parlay slips as well, everybody. Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, and Nick Castellanos all to get 1+ hit. Lock it in right now. For myself, for Parcero, check us out on Twitter at DylanJD98 and at Parcero Philly. Check us out on Twitter at DSM_media. Have a nice night, everybody.
Go Phil.